This is the video you've been looking for to convince yourself not to buy the DJI Mini 5 Pro. Let's do it. Prior to about a month ago when the Mini 5 was released, my favorite sub 250 gram drone was the Mini 4 Pro, and somehow DJI leveled up again and made an even better drone. There's a ton of things to love about this drone, but like anything, it's not perfect. I actually made a video titled the top 5 things I love about this drone, so definitely make sure you go check out that one after this video just so you get a balanced perspective. Link is at the end of this video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to address before we get into anything is the massive amount of hate that I got last year when I made one of these videos about the Mini 4 Pro. A lot of people really enjoyed it, but a good amount of the comments were people who were just really pissed off because I was comparing the Mini 4 to bigger, more expensive DJI models. And the truth is, the reason that I was doing that is because there is not a single company out there on the market that makes a sub 250 gram drone that I would ever consider buying over DJI. Their tech is so far ahead of literally everyone else on the market. So realistically, the only drones that I had to compare it to were other models like the Air 3S and the Mavic series. There were actually some really funny comments underneath that video. So anyways, in this video, I'm gonna be doing a better job of comparing the Mini 5 to other similarly priced drones like the Mini 4, while also talking about the difference between this and bigger drones, because I know for a lot of people, budget is a limiting factor, but for some people it's not, and you just want the drone that's best for you. So I'm gonna kind of talk about all that stuff. Okay. That's my spiel. Let's move on and get into number one. So the number one thing that I want to talk about with the Mini 5 is that it's not actually under 250 grams. There have been a ton of people online making videos about this, and the true weight of the drone is anywhere from 252 to 253 grams. If you're not familiar, drones over 250 grams are subject to a lot more rules and restrictions than anything underneath that. Some places require registration and a drone pilot's license to fly those ones. This has caused a huge stir online. I've seen so many threads of people just absolutely freaking out, like,
I can't buy this drone, or I can't fly this drone because it's not legal.
And just kind of losing their minds over it. But the reality is, it doesn't matter if it's actually under 250 grams because it has the sticker that says it's under 250 grams. In the manual, DJI specifically calls out a tolerance of about plus or minus 4 grams on these things. So as far as the laws are concerned, this drone is sub 250. So in an ideal world, yes, it would be amazing if they actually kept it under 250 grams. But they packed so many different features and upgrades into this drone, it's actually pretty impressive that they didn't go way over that. And it's okay that in some cases it's a tiny bit overweight. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that the flight time was only a negligible difference from the Mini 4. Usually on these drones, there's a pretty significant flight time difference on the new models. But in this case, the Mini 4 had a flight time of 34 minutes and this one has a flight time of 36. That is the hover in place time, so realistically, when you're actually flying around, you're gonna be getting like 20 to 25 minutes. You can always buy the Plus batteries here and extend the flight time, but then you're over the 250 gram limit, which forces you to comply to different rules and regulations. With the Plus battery, you can fly for 52 minutes. So if you are someone who needs a lot more flight time, a drone like the Air 3S might be a better bet. Realistically, when you're testing the range, the limiting factor isn't really the range itself. I've taken drones with the same transmission system out to like 10,000 meters. The biggest limiting factor is the battery, because once you go all the way out, you have to make it back to yourself. At the end of the day, I would have loved to see the battery time get extended more, but I totally understand that because of all the new tech that they put on this drone, it's really hard to do that, and it's actually pretty impressive they were able to make it longer at all. All right, so before we get into the next point, I want to take a quick second to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Artlist. And I want to show you how I've been using their AI tools to actually help me land clients recently. So here's the thing, I'm not using AI to replace what I shoot. I love real cameras, real places, real content. But what it's actually super helpful for is actually pitching ideas to clients. If you make videos for brands or clients, you know how big of a struggle it is to kind of just like take the vision that's in your head and show them that. You can describe it, you can sketch it, but until they actually see it, they just sometimes don't get it. For example, I just got hit up by a client that wants me to shoot some content for a new drone they're releasing. I have all these ideas for where I want to do the shoot, and I wanted to give them a visual on what to expect. That's where Artlist's AI image and video generation tools come in. So one of the spots that I pitched was this epic campsite on the edge of a canyon in Utah, and I've never been to the location and there's not very many good photos of it, so I wanted to see if I could just generate something that kind of gives the overall vibe. So first off, I'm gonna upload a photo of my car set up with the roof tent, and I'm just gonna use Nano Banana Pro to generate a photo of my car in the location that I want. Within seconds, I have a really solid photo that I can share with them, and it just looks so good with Nano Banana Pro. But if I really wanna go a step further, I can even turn it into a video. This just helps me secure projects faster, and it's just like having a visual transmitter for the stuff that's inside your brain. If you want to try it for yourself, right now is the best time because Artlist is actually having a huge sale. You can get 40% off annual AI plans or 20% off the Max Pro annual plan, plus an extra 2 months free. Just hit the link in the description down below. Huge thanks to Artlist for supporting creators and just making tools that allow us to bring our creative ideas to life. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so the third thing that I want to talk about is the fact that I would have loved to see an actual second lens on this drone. Having multiple focal lengths just allows you to get way more dynamic shots with these drones that just aren't possible with the standard wide lens. For example, here's a shot that I got on the Air 3S because it has a 24mm lens as well as a 70mm. And you can just see that nice compression that it has. Those drones are a lot more expensive than the Mini 5, so basically what DJI did is create a virtual version of that. So when you're flying around the drone, you're gonna see the normal 24mm mode, and if you want to shoot in 48mm mode, it's just going to crop that image in to kind of make an artificial zoom lens. The final video does still output as 4K, which is awesome, but you're not gonna be getting quite the amount of clarity and detail in your photos and videos. And honestly, that being said, the main sensor versus the zoom sensors on bigger DJI drones is a lot better. So it's kind of the same situation. When you crop in, you're gonna be losing a little bit of quality. So it is definitely the next best thing, but I would love to see actual multiple focal lengths on drones in the future. That being said, I just want to give DJI credit for how amazing the image looks on this drone. Even cropped in, the footage looks great. And if you are someone who's interested in color grading your footage exactly like you see here on this channel, I'll leave a link down below for my video filter LUTs, which are basically just filters you put on top of your footage to give it that cinematic look. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is just the fact that because this drone is so small, it gets blown around by the wind quite a bit. It is actually pretty impressive how well it does handle the wind for something so small, but it is a challenge for it. As long as the wind isn't too bad, when you're just normally flying around, this isn't going to be a crazy issue just because the gimbal is really good, and even if the drone is doing all sorts of crazy stuff, the gimbal is going to be able to stabilize that out. But where this becomes an actual big problem is when you're looking straight downwards. Right now I'm in Hawaii and it gets super windy this time of year. So here's an example of me trying to get a shot looking straight down, and if I start moving, the drone hits these crazy angles and just kind of messes up the shot. On a drone with more weight that's more stable in the air, you're not going to get this problem. So if you're constantly flying in windy conditions, it might be a better idea to get an Air model. And you can actually find older models of the Air drones for a similar price as a new Mini 5. Okay, so the final thing that I want to talk about is just the design of the ND filters. If you're not familiar with what ND filters are, they're basically just like sunglasses for your drone. So if the conditions are too bright to get proper shutter speeds, you can put them on the camera and it allows you to get the perfect settings. I have a whole video that I made where I'm covering all the best settings on the Mini 5 Pro, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link up here. But my main complaint is just the fact that these are pretty difficult to get on and take off. So when you want to put these things on, it's just kind of difficult. You have to like basically clip the bottom on, and then you have to push really hard to get it to snap. And every single time that I do this, I feel like I'm just slowly destroying the gimbal. And then to get it off, again, you have to like just hold on to the gimbal. It's just like a lot of time spent messing around with the gimbal. Whereas before in the Mini 4, there was actually like a physical thing that you just like took off the front and then screwed the ND filter on, which I like a lot more. Because the other thing with ND filters that just clip on, if you do crash, it's really likely that they're gonna go flying off somewhere random. So anyways, I would have loved to see a similar design to the 4 on the 5, but I'm sure there is some reason why they designed them like this. All of that being said, the Mini 5 Pro really is an incredible pick for most people out there. But like any product, there's a certain group of people that this thing just isn't going to work for very well. And for those people that are trying to stay in the same price range, you can look for used models of the Mavic or the Air. You can sometimes find pretty good deals out there. And like I said, I made a video about the top 5 things that I love about this drone, so make sure you go check that out after you're done watching this video. And if you are interested in purchasing my video filter LUTs, I'll link those in the description below. Huge shout out to Artlist for sponsoring this video. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.